Right, moving forward to our next industry presentation, the topic stands Zero Trust Cyber Security by Zscaler, and I would like to welcome Mr. Gagandeep Nanda, Sales Director, Government Zscaler, to please join us on the stage.
Good afternoon, everyone. So from morning, we are hearing a lot of digital transformation, right? And the mind sometimes gets saturated. So instead of starting the presentation, let me start with this. Today, majority of you have come to this event, right? To come to this event, you need two things. First is the location, where you have to reach, and how to reach. If these two are not there, it's difficult to reach, right? So my esteemed speakers, Nikun sir also told today that 𝗗𝗶𝗴𝗶𝗃𝗃 was one of the schemes, right? So these kind of similar lot of schemes are getting, rolled out with a lot of state ministries, central ministries, and to implement these schemes very well, cybersecurity lies at the core. I tell you, take an example in 𝗗𝗶𝗴𝗶𝗃, Nikun sir given one example, direct benefit transfer, right? Suppose in that the name of the transferee, right, and the amount to be transferred, or in which bank to be transferred, is manipulated or breached. What will happen? Everything will go for a toss. The beneficiary will be someone different, right? That is the reason to have the scheme running properly, cybersecurity is must today. And today when I talk how cyber adversaries across the globe, who are actually paid time, money, resources by the different countries, how they are reaching those applications and manipulating them by exploiting the vulnerabilities what are there in the application in the network. So vulnerability lies at the core of everything today, right? In any government organization, when I discuss with anyone, if there is a vulnerability, right, usually the audit happens. After the audit, the patching happens. After the patching, everything goes silent for some time, and again some kind of a breach happens. Why? Because vulnerabilities are getting exploited and new vulnerabilities are coming each and every hour as we speak. Every year there are thousands of new vulnerabilities. So adversary, a cyber attacker just need one vulnerability to get into it. I'll showcase one slide, next slide, will tell you every organization has all the cybersecurity stack, but still vulnerabilities are getting exploited. The reason, a lot of point solutions, cybersecurity solutions are not able to cater to these business use cases. These business use cases are the one Zscaler as a team is catering to, and that's the reason today a lot of government organizations have implemented, enterprise have implemented, and they are on the way to implementing more and more zero trust cybersecurity. Take an example, the first use case. Endpoint machines are already end of life. It happens majority of the time. This is a very basic thing. But if it's end of life or unpatched applications and servers are there, right? It's a big, you can say, attack surface or exploitation can happen. Vulnerability can be exploited, right? This is one of the use cases which no other solution can cater to it. What zero trust cybersecurity does. Coming to the next, implicit trust. Today, whoever is inside your already organization, the user who is sitting in your organization and working, his laptop, his user machine, he himself is trusted one. Why? Because he is already inside. You're only using VPN kind of a system or a technology for the outside users, which is itself a vulnerable, we will talk afterwards. But what about those users who are sitting inside your office? That is implicit trust. Till now, everything worked fine from last 1 decade. J.S. sir also mentioned that technology has taken leaps and bounds in last 1 decade. So users sitting inside no more can be trusted by default. Coming to the users and application IPs are exposed. I told you that today in the morning if you have come, you need the location and the path to reach. So IPs are the network layer where everything is happening. So if you have developed a beautiful application like 𝗗𝗶𝗴𝗶𝗃 and everything, and exploiters are exploiting these vulnerabilities, they are able to get the location of your application where it's residing. Data center, which rack, which server, everything. Because exploiting the earlier mentioned things. That's the reason you have to safeguard and zero visibility on your application's IPs, which is very much required today. Going to the next. Today, in your IT network, if the IT folks are here, right, you whitelist a lot of the domains. Again, trusted domains. For example, in your organization, you say that these websites are the trusted websites, and they don't need any kind of inspection because you cannot inspect each and everything. It's billions of traffic. That becomes one of the attack surface because the adversaries who are sitting across the borders, they are monitoring your website, monitoring your infrastructure day in and day out, and they are seeing which are whitelisted. This becomes one of the attack surface. So you should have a solution in which you don't have to whitelist anything. 100% everything will be monitored. Today in the morning, ma'am said that a lot of times we have a lot of data, but we need to have the insights on the data. You can only have the insights when all the data is actually getting sanitized and properly monitored. That is where this big use case comes in picture. Coming to the difficult to scale. Today, data is, everyone says, is a new oil, right? And data is growing exponentially from, I think, MBs to GBs to TBs to what it is, right? That is where you need solutions which can scale to that kind of a data because citizen-centric data is growing. If you're having a digital transformation, which means more and more B2C customers are getting enrolled, which means hundreds and thousands and lakhs of multifolds of data is getting generated. To scale that, you need a solution kind of zero trust kind of a solution. Third-party access, right? You have contractors in the government organizations. Like Jayesh Ranjan sir said, we need to involve the private players also. So you need contractors, consultants, third-party, developers, which again become one of the reasons through which an attacker can get into your network, right? Even those are not the culprit. They are doing their work, but their machine is compromised. Even they don't know. And those machines are compromised because of all the vulnerabilities I've mentioned earlier, right? So all these things are very much today need of the hour. And last but not the least, at the bottom it's written, you need the domain experts. Today there is a dearth of domain experts. So as Jayesh sir mentioned, you need to adopt the latest technology which take care majority of your time. If you have more and more human interventions with the less domain experts, there are chances of gaps there, which can again, adversary can exploit it. So all these things are today very much required, which are missing, and because of which you have implemented all the cybersecurity stack is still, sorry, no, it's not working. Still the breach is happening. So to fix this, you need a solution, a zero trust kind of a solution. We will show in a couple of slides more what the zero trust does. Going to the next slide. So usually this is the architecture of any organizations. You have a data center, you have a branches, you have a factory, if you are an OT environment, right? And these branches are connected to VPN servers, suppose the users sitting outside or users sitting in the office. Then these are connected to the internet. Now, the first thing, to connect to the internet, you have to have firewalls. That's a basic need today, right? Best of the firewalls, next generation firewalls. But all the firewalls, again, work on the principles of IPs, which I told in the previous slide. So IPs need to be not visible to the external world, but the adversary groups sitting on the internet, they are able to figure it out your IPs using the public IPs of firewall. So you need a mechanism where you can hide those IPs. So first thing is you need to hide the IPs of the users in the application of your internal corporate organization, which is today available on the dark web. Coming to the second, once they have found, okay, this is the user I have to target and this is the IP, he has to just send one malicious content to the user's machine. Sending a malicious content, again, is exploiting the vulnerabilities in a different way, which I have shown you in the earlier slide. You can commit as you're not inspecting the 100% traffic. Why? I told you the scale problem, because humongous data is getting generated. It is difficult to monitor and scan everything, right? That is where the problem is. Then there are different modern applications using a different kind of a protocol altogether, which is not the normal web traffic, which it was used to be 5 years back. So solutions, point solutions are not monitoring those kind of a traffic. Third is zero-day attacks today happening. You have no visibility on the new vulnerability you can encounter maybe next second. So adversary groups are always doing R&D and they are exploiting this. So the thing is, once he enters into your corporate network, he has to do the lateral movement and reach to your crown jewel applications, maybe any kind of applications you have incorporated or developed for your state, for your government, for your public sector, whatever it is. Once it is done, nothing is left. Either he has to steal the data or he has to corrupt the data, depending on what is his requirement. He wants to do ransomware or he wants to steal the data. So, first slide has shown you the vulnerabilities which get exploited and adversaries walk into your corporate organization. The second is how they use those vulnerabilities and get inside. Now, today, the 3 principles of zero trust which can suffice most of these things are: sorry, ma'am, there is a delay or something? So hide users and application IPs, right? So there are mechanisms, cybersecurity solution, zero trust. It hides the applications and users and applications IP so that your attack surface reduces to 0. Then comes, you don't have to do the implicit trust, because if you are doing the implicit trust, you are trusting the user who is already sitting in your corporate organization. That becomes a challenge. He can do the lateral movement, so you have to stop the lateral movement. 100% inspection to be done. All the modern applications, what kind of a protocol, you have to inspect it beautifully so that every data, it is generating humongously, everything is inspected so that no malicious content can walk into your corporate network and start doing the damage. So no compromise, no data breach. All these things can be done. The action required is you have to implement the zero trust cybersecurity, right? So I have a couple of slides on the zero trust cybersecurity. The only thing is, with the interest of time, I'll just pause it here, and as a follow-up session with you guys, with different teams, different departments, we are having a booth here also of Zscaler today. Come to the booth, discuss how zero trust cybersecurity works, how we can help you. We can arrange specific sessions for your teams in your office over the VC as per your convenience. So I think with this, I'll take a pause, and if any question anyone has, or I'll just take a leave. Thank you so much. Thanks, everyone.